you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie if you are new here, and today's video is going to be a Q&A. I asked you guys what kinds of videos you wanted to see during this time where we're all stuck at home, and a lot of you guys said a Q&A, so I thought that would be a good place to start. I made myself a little chai latte, which I haven't made in so long. So good. I asked you guys to ask me questions on Instagram. If you're not following me on there, definitely do that, because anytime I do any sort of Q&A, it's through Instagram. I screenshotted some of my favorite questions, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into it. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get started. Okay, so I'm just gonna start with my most asked question. I feel like every time I do a Q&A, this is my most asked question, and my answer is always like, I don't really know. A lot of people ask what my plans are for the summer and for after graduation in general. So my plan as of right now is just to enjoy my summer. I'm graduating college in May. As a lot of you guys know, I go to Montclair State, which is a school here in Jersey. I'm a business major studying marketing and management. Right now, my plan is just to kind of keep doing what I'm doing through the summer. So keep doing YouTube. This is my full-time job, and just like social media in general. I've kind of gone back and forth between wanting to maybe get a regular 9-to-5 job or just continuing doing YouTube as my full-time job. Right now my plan is to just not jump into anything and keep doing what I'm doing. Like I said, I want to enjoy my summer, especially now since like everything is so crazy right now and we're all stuck at home for these next few weeks or months or however long it is. I'm just hoping that everything is back to normal this summer and I can have like a fun summer. All of my friends will be moving back home from college, which will be really exciting. So I'm just really looking forward to that. And then maybe once fall comes around, I'm kind of considering getting a part-time job. I'm kind of just gonna play it by ear and see how my summer goes, but I have a feeling that if YouTube was all I had going on and I didn't have classes or anything else, I would just have too much free time on my hands. But I feel like if I got a full-time 9-to-5, I just wouldn't want my YouTube and like social media job to suffer from me like putting all my time into another job, if that makes sense. So I feel like a part-time job is like a happy medium, and I would be able to get out of my house and go to an office and have coworkers, and that would kind of be like my side job, whereas like this YouTube would be my full-time job, if that makes sense. I don't really know. That's kind of been my idea as of lately, but I'm always changing my mind and I just don't really know what I'm gonna do. I'm just so thankful that I don't have to rush into anything and I'm like secure with what I'm doing right now, and I can kind of take my time navigating everything and just figuring my life out. Next question is, what are some jobs that you've had in the past? So I started working when I was 15 years old. I got my first job, what would I have been, like a sophomore in high school? Yeah, it was sophomore year. My first job was working at the Brandy Melville in Soho in New York. It was a very interesting first job, and they just have a really weird hiring process. I didn't apply to work there. I was basically just shopping there one day, and one of the managers like asked me if I wanted to work there, and there was no like interview process or anything. It was my first job. I had no experience, no like customer service skills, so I'm very grateful that they hired me because it was a really good first job opportunity and I did get to learn a lot from that job, but their hiring process is just really weird. But that was my first ever job. I worked there for about a year just as a sales associate, and then I pretty much continued working retail from there. So I did get an internship. My first internship was the summer between junior and senior year of high school. I got an internship really early. That was when I thought I wanted to study interior design in college. So I got an internship over the summer at like a small interior design firm in New York City. I feel like that internship made me like really good at navigating the city, because I was just like all over New York, like running errands, like getting fabric samples, and yeah, I was like uptown, downtown, everywhere. So one skill that I have from that I still use today is just being able to find my way around New York City. I'm very good at it. Freshman to sophomore year of college, I worked at a small kids clothing boutique in Montclair, New Jersey. So that was when I was still living on campus in a dorm, so it was really nice because I was like a few minutes away from this little clothing store in downtown Montclair. And it was so cute. It was like little kids and like baby clothes, and that was a really good experience because it was just me and one other girl and then the owner that worked there. So it was very hands-on, and I learned a lot about just like running a small business. And then more recently I worked at Aritzia during my junior year of college. This was by far my favorite retail job. I loved it there. We got a really good discount on the clothes, which was really nice, and honestly I miss that so much because you guys know I live in Aritzia, wearing their sweatpants right now. Also, I just loved my team that I worked with. I became really good friends with a lot of the girls that I worked with. And if you've ever shopped at an Aritzia store, you know that the employees are very involved and they're super helpful, and that's because Aritzia is just so good at training their employees. Like, I learned so much about customer service from that job. Yeah, I absolutely loved working there. And that is all the jobs that I've had. And then you guys know I had an internship last semester at Bellare. Again, learned so much there. I feel like I've talked a lot about my internship in like past vlogs, like when it was going on. So that is all of the job experience I've had. Another question that I got a million times was asking about my relationship, if I'm single, if I have a new man in my life. So no new man, still single, not really going out of my way to be in a relationship, but if the perfect person walked along, I would definitely be down. But yeah, not in a relationship. I promise I'm not like hiding a relationship off camera. Someone asked for some tips for being able to move out in your early 20s. I would say start saving money as early as possible. As soon as you start working, you should be saving a majority of each paycheck that you get. Like I said a couple questions ago, I started working when I was 15. I've always just been very like work oriented, and like I've always been independent when it comes to like money. So going back to the question, I would say start working as early as you can, and once you start making any sort of money, start saving. Also, it's really important to build your credit as soon as you can, because when you start applying for apartments, you have to have your credit score checked. I think I got my first credit card when I was 16, and like I think my parents made me get it just for like emergencies or whatever, so I never even used it. But I'm so happy that I got that when I did, because your credit age plays a factor in your credit score. So I think it's like the average age of all your credit accounts combined, that's your credit age. So having that one since I was 16 increases my credit score. So that stuff is all really confusing, but basically you want to get at least one credit card as early as you can, and don't start spending it and like going into debt, because that's definitely not what you want to do. It's super important to be responsible with credit cards, but having that credit card under your name is really important, so that by the time you are in your early 20s, you have like a decent credit score that they can run to get approved for an apartment. So yeah, build your credit, start saving as much as you can. Everyone's situation is different, like we all have different expenses, but the more you can save, the better. A lot of people wanted to know if I'm enjoying living alone and if I ever get lonely here. I love living alone. It's definitely not for everyone, but I think this goes along with like being an only child. I've always just been super comfortable with being by myself and like doing my own thing. Again, I'm very independent and I'm also very introverted, so I just like having my alone time. I like having my own space, and I'm just super comfortable with being alone. Like that's just how I am. It's a little different right now because of the whole quarantine thing, but usually I get out of my house a lot, so I never feel like I'm like just trapped here by myself. Now I kind of do because I can't really leave the house, but normally I always try to get out of my apartment at least once a day, whether it's to like go home to see my parents, go out with friends, go run errands, whatever it is. So I don't feel like I get lonely because I'm always like talking to my friends or family, and like I'm always getting out of my apartment. So I do really love living alone. It's just nice that I have my own space. Everything in here is mine. It's my own stuff. Like I can just do whatever I want whenever I want. It's like the best feeling. So definitely not for everyone. If you're more of like a social extrovert, you would probably hate living alone, but I love it. I'm thriving. Favorite places to shop for home decor. I wanted to answer this one because I literally just spent the whole morning online shopping and I just ordered so much new home decor. I'm gonna say like my favorite more affordable home decor places and then more expensive. For affordable places to shop for home decor, HomeGoods and HomeSense are my favorite ever. As soon as everything that's going on right now is over, the first place I'm going is HomeGoods. I miss it. The only thing with HomeGoods, it's kind of like the Forever 21 of home decor. Like you really have to dig for stuff, and like you have to go in there ready to like really search, because it gets a little messy and disorganized. That's why I really like HomeSense. I recently discovered HomeSense because I didn't know I had one near me until like a few months ago when I found out there's one. It's still kind of far, it's like 30 minutes away from me, but if I'm like in the mood to run errands, I'll drive over there and check out the HomeSense, and it's like a more organized version of HomeGoods. So I love both of those places. If you really look, like, you can find amazing stuff there, and it's always super affordable. Also, Target like has the best stuff. I feel like a lot of my stuff in my apartment is from Target, and Amazon too. If I have like something specific in my head that I know I want, I always check Amazon first. And then if I want to splurge a little more and find more like investment pieces, I've been loving CB2 lately. I just ordered a couple things from there. This mirror is from CB2. I'm obsessed with it. And Crate & Barrel too. They're owned by the same company, but they both have like really good stuff. I love West Elm. I really like World Market. I always find good stuff there. Yeah, those are definitely my faves. What app do you use to edit your photos? I don't think I've ever talked about how I edit my Instagram photos before. I'm not gonna go like in depth in this video, but if you guys wanna see like a whole video on how I edit my Instagram, let me know. I always start with Facetune. Every photo like needs something different, so I always just like fix whatever the photo needs. I like to brighten my eyes, like I like to make them brighter and like greener, and I'll like smooth out my skin, get rid of any pimples. You know, like everyone Facetunes. And then for like the actual filter, I go to the Tezza app. It depends on the photo and like the lighting, but I'll either use Vintage or Vintage 2. And I don't put them on all the way. I usually do them around like 30 or 40. And then once I'm done with Tezza and it has a filter on it, I go to my favorite app, which is Darkroom. Darkroom is literally the best editing app because you can adjust individual colors. I always go to yellow and turn the yellow down because I don't like when my photos have like a yellowy tint. So I feel like when you turn the yellow down, it makes like the whites brighter. Also, if you go to the orange color and you just turn down the luminance, it'll make you look tanner, but without really like affecting the rest of the photo. Pro tip. And then I always put grain on it, and I'll just make any other adjustments in Darkroom that I feel like it needs. So yeah, those are like really the only 3 apps that I use to edit my Instagrams: Facetune, Tezza, and Darkroom. Next question: how did you get to be so positive about life? I thought this was an interesting question. I do consider myself like a pretty positive person, but I also just want to make sure you guys know that like I'm not positive all of the time. Obviously, when I'm filming videos, I'm not really talking about anything that's like negative in my life or like that makes me sad. Not because I'm trying to hide anything, it's just because I always like to keep my videos really positive, and I want you guys to like leave watching one of my videos feeling happy and feeling good. So I just choose not to really talk about negative things ever. But that doesn't mean that like my life is all perfect and positive. I feel like positivity just comes with like growing up and maturity and just like realizing what's important and what's not. I think that positivity has nothing to do with like the things that you have or like your lifestyle. I think it's all about perspective. I always just try to remind myself that like I have my health, and I have a home to live in, and I have my family that loves me and supports me, and not everyone can say those things. I am super lucky to have the life that I do, and so I always just try to keep a positive perspective because like things could be so much worse. So that's kind of my perspective that helps me stay positive. And also like going through hard times helps you be a more positive person later on. So if you're going through a hard time right now, which we kind of all are, obviously everyone is being affected by this virus in some way. I feel like once we do get on the other side of it, it's going to just change our perspective on life and on the things that we have, and just like day-to-day things that are a privilege that we maybe don't always realize are a privilege. And so I feel like going through hard times like this, or just anything that you guys might have gone through or are still going through, once it passes, it does change your perspective, and I feel like it makes you a more positive person in the end? I think I'm gonna end it on that question because I liked that question and I feel like I've been talking for a while. So I'm gonna end this video here. If I didn't get to your question this time, I will for sure film another Q&A sometime in the future. But I hope you guys liked this video. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you guys are all doing well, staying healthy and staying home. I love you guys so much and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.